swinging the little golf club there. I was looking for a short billy club originally, couldn't find one, at least that didn't that conveyed the idea that I wanted it to convey. So the diminutive golfer it is. I'm going to talk about the concept of the so-called short club and also the short diamond this morning. And I'm in thinking about this, I thought, I've heard people say a lot of different things about what they think's happening when partner opens one of a minor, but one of the more common ones is, well, when my partner opens a club, he's asking for a major. No, he's not. Remember, an auction is not an interrogation. Your partner is not demanding that you show a major suit immediately when you open a club or a diamond. Certainly, if you have a minimum responding hand and you have a 4-card major suit, that's what you should do. But it may be that your partner has 6 or 7 clubs and a hand that's not quite good enough to open 2 clubs. So he may be looking for 3 no trump or 5 clubs when he opens a club. You don't know. So don't assume that your partner is looking for a major suit. An auction is just simply an exchange between the two of you to try to find the best place to play. Now, besides a short club, which many of you have heard, some players also refer to a short diamond, which is really, really not a good term. The only time a player should be opening with only 3 cards in the diamond suit is when the hand has exactly 4 cards in each major suit, a 3-card diamond suit, and a 2-card club suit, like the example I gave here. This is a 13-point hand. It is not a great 13-point hand. It's aceless and it's 4-3-3-3. But even if I subtract a point, I still have my 12 points that I need to open. So I'm not going to pass this hand. Even though I would like to see an ace or I'd like to see a little shape, we don't always get what we want. So if you play a convenient minor, you open the longer one. This means you open a diamond. Now, here is another example. This time we have 3 cards in each major, and that means we open a club, even though the diamonds are better. This is the only way that the convenient minor system will work well for you. When you have 3 of each minor suit, you open a club. When you have 4 in each minor suit, as with almost any other case, you would bid the higher ranking one first. So 3 of each open a club, 4 of each open a diamond. Otherwise, open the longer one, not the better one. The convenient minor bidding system is designed so that if you follow these rules, when you open 1 diamond, 97% of the time, you will have 4 or more of them. In the event that you have only 3, you will always be 4-4 in the major suits. So what does that mean? That means 4% of the time my partner will open a diamond with 3 of them. If we can't find a fit, say responder doesn't have a 4-card major, so there is no 8-card major suit fit, we're either going to have to play no trump or we're going to have to play diamonds. If I'm holding 4 diamonds in my hand and I have a minimum responding hand, I'm probably going to take a preference back to diamonds rather than no trump with a weak hand. That means that my partner may end up playing a 4-3 fit. You've heard me say playing 4-3 fits is character building. I don't worry about it simply because I learned to play Gorin. And when you open a major suit with only 4 of them, as you do in the Gorin system, you frequently end up playing 4-3 major suit fits. I played slams in 4-3 major suit fits. The difference is I had more points in my hand when I opened than I might have today because it required more points. When you don't have as many cards in a suit, then you need to have extra points to make up for that. Or conversely, when you have more cards in the suit, then all of a sudden, maybe it doesn't require quite as many points to open the bidding. Say, for instance, I have 11 high card points in my hand and a 6-card suit. I'm going to open that hand in the 6-card suit. I have a hand that has extra length points in it, and I have a built-in rebid. My partners know that about me because I'm just simply not going to preempt. I'm not going to bid a week 2 with 11 high card points in my hand because my hand has more trick-taking ability than preempting would indicate. So, if you happen to bid 2 diamonds and partner has to play a 4-3 fit, he should not get mad at you. That's just something that happens once in a while, and quite frankly, it has happened to me maybe once or twice in the last 10 years. So don't spend a whole lot of time worrying about it, okay? Now, yes.
Question in the chat. Many are playing opening a 2-card club suit, and that means you have 4 diamonds when you open a diamond. What do you think of that option?
I'm going to get to that.
Okay.
Give me a little time, okay? Now, how is this information helpful? You know, how do I take advantage of this? How do I interpret it? Here's a sample auction. Partner opens a diamond, you bid a heart, and partner responds 1 no trump. What do we know about that hand? Does your partner have a 4-card major suit in it?
No.
That's right. He's not supposed to. Never, ever, ever cover up a 4-card major to bid no trump. So what do you know now about his diamond suit? Does he have only 3 of them?
He has less than 6.
Well, yes. But the point is,
He has 4.
4 or more, because by denying a 4-card major suit, he has to have at least 4 diamonds. He has to. If he may even have 5. You know, that's not outside the realm of possibility. But we know he has longer diamonds than clubs, or at least they're the same length. He rebid 1 no trump, so he doesn't have 5 diamonds and 5 clubs. He has a balanced hand with longer diamonds than clubs that does not contain a 4-card major suit. So, if he had opened with only 3 cards in the suit, he'd have been holding 4 cards in each major, right? We've said that that's the only time we open a diamond with only 3 cards in it. And so we know he does not have that hand, because if he did, he'd raise hearts rather than bidding no trump. So here's a rule that you can tuck in the back of your brain or wherever else you keep odd little aphorisms. Anytime partner opens a diamond and does not directly support your major suit response, he cannot possibly have only 3 cards in the diamond suit. He has to have 4 or more. Here's another example. This time your partner opens a diamond and your very rude opponent there preempts 3 spades. He's trying to be obnoxious and he's succeeding. So, this is your hand as south. Now, east is marked with 7 spades, right? For his 3-spade call. He should have, if he had only 6 of them, his bid would be 2 spades. So he's marked with 7 of them. And South is sitting there holding 3 spades. That's 10 spades right there, right? We know where 10 of them are. Can partner have a 4-card spade suit? Absolutely not. Therefore, we know he has more than 3 diamonds in his hand. He has at least 4. And in this case, even though South has 3 losers in the opponent's suit, this means that unless your partner has a void, East and West don't have a spade fit. He has 11 high card points and a heart doubleton. So he needs to bid 4 diamonds. Do you see how figuring this out, knowing that how many diamonds partner has, enables you to make a good choice here? This information is available to you if you stop and think how to apply the information that you have at hand. Partner will never open with 3 diamonds unless he has 2 4-card major suits. Here we know he cannot possibly have 4 spades because there aren't 4 missing ones. Therefore, he does not have the 4-4-3-2 hand. He has at least 4 diamonds and may have 5. And he has an opening hand. Now we know we have a diamond fit. We also know that we have the balance of the high card points. East Print shows fewer than 10 high card points. Otherwise, he'd bid 1 spade. Does everybody understand how we come to the conclusion here that South should bid 4 diamonds confidently? He knows partner has at least 4, so we have an 8-card fit in diamonds.
But is it enough points to go to the 4 level?
Well, I would certainly be willing to do that rather than sell out to 3 spades. I mean, if there are a lot of missing points, I would tend to think they are on my left, which means they're caught between, partner can get to my hand to take finesse if he needs to. I'm anticipating that we have only 1 spade loser at the very most. We may not have any. Partner's got opening points. His values have to be somewhere. Since that spade bid is weak, I would bid 4 diamonds. Is that a guarantee that we can make it? No. But if we can, I don't want to have sold out to 3 spades going down 2 or whatever when I can make 4 diamonds. I don't want to take 100 when I could get 130. I think the odds favor my being successful here. I have 11 high card points and a heart doubleton. My hand is worth 12 points. My partner should have at least 12 points in his hand. Maybe he has 6 diamonds. I don't know. If he's got 6 diamonds, then we have 10 between us, and law of total tricks should be on our side. So once you learn how to deduce that your partner cannot have 4 cards in the major suit, then that gives you a very good idea about the number of diamonds that he holds, right? So this is very helpful when partner opens a diamond, but what about the instance when he opens a club? How is that different?
Hey, Susan, we have
Yes.
one question. It
Uh-huh.
says, when the opener bids a minor and you have 5 diamonds and 4 cards of a minor, do you bid the diamonds or the major?
Well, that depends on the school of thought you belong to. My feeling on that is if I have enough points in my hand that I'm sure I'm going to take another call, I'll bid the diamonds first. But if I have a minimum responding hand, if I don't get that 4-card major suit on the table right now, by the time the bidding comes back around to me, I may be completely shut out. for instance, if my partner opens a club and I have 5 diamonds and 4 spades, and let's say I have 7 points. If I bid a diamond, my left-hand opponent could preempt 2 hearts, couldn't he? Now all of a sudden I have only 6 points. And I'm kicking myself for not bidding a spade. Because there's a fair chance when my partner opens a minor and one of the opponents preempts in a major that maybe my partner and I have a fit in the other major suit. So the one that I do, the one I choose, or the way I choose to bid is based on the number of calls I expect to take. If I have a minimum responding hand, then I'm going to mention the major suit first, because that's where that's information I really want my partner to know. If I have at least an invitational hand, and by that I mean one worth 11 points, then I would consider starting with a diamond. If I have a full opener myself, I will start with a diamond. I'm not particularly looking to play diamonds. I would prefer to play a major suit. But my partners know that when I respond to diamond, I may or may not have a 4-card major suit, and they should not interpret that to mean that I do not have one. This is an understanding I have with my partners. It's that old partnership agreement thing. Rears its head again. This is something that you need to talk with your partners about, because there are 2 schools of thought on this issue. I happen to think that when I'm minimum, it's really important to get the major suit out there. Other people say, no, I'm going to bid my longer suit first, because that's the way my partner and I want to do it. And there's a whole way of bidding that subscribes to that theory. So you and your partner need to talk about it, basically, is the short answer. I've just explained what I do, what makes sense to me. Now, when your partner opens 1 club, there are only 3 balanced hand patterns that will contain only 3 cards in that club suit. And they are pretty flat hands, as you can see. These are the only balanced hand patterns that have only 3-card clubs in them. All the other hand patterns are, by definition, unbalanced. Remember, if you have a 5-3-3-2 pattern hand, you will open in the 5-card suit, never a 3-card club suit. I've shown you some examples here. Some of the hands have good stuff in clubs and some of them don't. This hand in the middle here and this last one are both opening hands. They're balanced and they have nothing in the club suit. The diamond suit is much better. But when you have 3 of each, or when you have the club suit that's longer, you open 1 club. That's the way that you can guarantee having 4 diamonds 97% of the time. If you do not follow these guidelines of the convenient minor openings, then you can't say that only 4% of the time will you have only 3 diamonds. The way this whole system is designed is so that 97%, approximately 97% of the time, you will have at least 4 diamonds in your hand when you open 1 diamond. Now, when you have 4-4 in the minors, you'll open a diamond. By following this system of bidding convenient minors, not only will you have 4 cards in a diamond suit 97% of the time, but 85% of the time when you open a club, you will have more than 3. Long story short here, folks, is most of the time when you open a convenient minor, you have more than 3 cards in the suit. You are more likely to have 4 in the diamond suit than you are in the club suit, but I'll bet you that not very many of you knew that 85% of the time When you open one club, you have at least 4, and you may have 5. You get those kinds of percentages by following the guidelines of the convenient minor opening. Now, here's another thing that bugs me a lot. And I think you probably have heard me say this. When you rebid a suit, and it doesn't make any difference whether you're opener or responder, when you rebid it, you promise 6. But there are many players out there who have this, what must be an absolutely overwhelming urge to rebid a 5-card minor suit, because I want my partner to know I really have the suit. Do you think your partner has any overwhelming need to know that you have 5 cards in a minor suit? So my advice, as I say here, when you have that urge, suppress it. When you have a 5-card minor suit, there's usually something better to do than rebid it. You know, once in a blue moon, you get backed into a corner and you do have to rebid a 5-card suit. It is the least bad of a series of bad choices. That does not happen very often. You have to be prepared to do it, and you think, yeah, I'm lying to my partner. Well, I want to tell the least lie. And very often the least lie that I can tell is by rebidding a 5-card suit. I don't want to show more points than I have. I don't want to bid no trump if I have an unbid suit that doesn't have anything in it, if that's my agreement with my partner in particular. So let's take a look at a couple of these hands here. If you hold hand number 1, you open a club, partner responds a diamond, your correct rebid is not 2 clubs. That promises 6. Your correct rebid is 1 no trump. 1 no trump. This is the 12 to 14 point no trump. We have to bid something else first and then bid 1 no trump as the rebid. 1 no trump is, especially when partner has bid 1 diamond, this is certainly a viable, a really, really good rebid here. Now with hand 2, if you open a club and partner responds 1 diamond, you may want to rebid 1 no trump, because you think that when partner rebids or responds 1 diamond, he's denying a 4-card major suit. As I explained earlier, if I have a good enough hand, I will show a 5-card diamond suit first, even though I may have a 4-card major. If that's my agreement with my partners, my partner has rebid a diamond here on number 2, I'm not covering up my 4-card major suit. It's not much of a suit, I admit, but it's a 4-card major suit. My partner may have 4 spades. If he also has 4 hearts, well, we don't have a 4-4 major suit fit, and we'll end up in no trump. That's okay. We will have tried to find a 4-4 major suit fit. Remember, that's the holy grail of standard American bidding. We want to play in an 8-card major suit fit, and the number 1 choice is the 4-4 fit. So we've tried everything that we could to find that 4-4 major suit fit. So here is where I got into the explanation of when holding a 5-card diamond suit and a 4-card major. If you feel that you have enough to take another call, in other words, your hand is more than minimum, then feel free to bid the diamonds first if your partner is comfortable with that. If he says, oh, I don't want to have to wonder, you know, I'll never know, I would just kind of rather that you bid the major suit first, then that's what you should do. It may be that if you bid diamonds first and you can't find a major suit fit, that diamonds might end up being your best place to play. If your partner knows you have 5 of them, you will never bid 4 diamonds and then bid a major. Remember, you bid your higher ranking suit first here, particularly when the majors are concerned, major over minor. I would never bid one diamond with only 4 of them. But if I have 5, I will show them if I have a good enough hand. So it may be that if your partner has 3 diamonds as opener, that diamonds is your best place to play. But there's a funny thing about this bidding system that we use. Most of the time, if you follow the guidelines, you're going to end up in the best contract. But there are times when the way standard American bidding is set up that you can't find, there's no way to find, say a 4-4 heart fit or something, because you lack the values to reverse, for instance. You may miss a 4-4 major suit fit. That's just part of it. You have to have the money to buy the level where you need to bid in order to find some of your fits. You don't always get enough values to be able to do that. So sometimes you don't have a way to find your best contract. We're not always looking for the best contract. We're looking for a feasible contract, or particularly when the responder is minimum, we're looking for the safest place to pass. That may mean that we don't always end up in what would be the best contract. When you're looking at hand records later and you see the whole double W analysis, you think, oh, we'd have been much better off if we'd been in this contract, but I don't see how to get there. So sometimes you can't, just because you have followed the rules here, doesn't necessarily mean you're going to end up in the right place, but it is really important to follow the guidelines, especially when opening with a convenient minor. I mean, it's important all the time. But if you want to have this guarantee that 97% of the time you will have 4 or more diamonds and 85% of the time you will have 4 or more clubs when you open in one of those suits, then that's what you need to do. Now, I have some editorial comment here. Somebody asked earlier about opening a 2-card club suit. I think that is bad bridge. There's just no need to do it. If you follow the guidelines for using a convenient minor, you will always have at least 3 cards in the suit. For instance, if you open 1 club, every time you do that, your partner must say, could be as short as 2, if that's what you're doing. If you play in the United States and in a lot of areas around the world, but in American clubs and tournaments, standard American and the 2/1 game force are the overwhelming systems that are used. In these instances, it's common to open with as few as 3 cards. When you play a 5-card major suit system, this can be a necessity and is hardly ever a problem. That's not true with some of the other systems that are played here in this country and around the world, such as precision, where a 1-club opening says nothing at all about clubs.
Was it under the bed?
Nothing at all about it. But I digress. It's not my intention to promote precision by any means. If you play precision in Oklahoma City, you may have a hard time finding partners because so few people play precision. But in 2017, Larry Cohen wrote an article in the Bridge Bulletin that was strongly oriented toward a discussion of the 1-diamond opening. He reviewed that whole practice of opening 1 diamond when you have 4 cards in each minor and 1 club when you hold 3 in each minor. He put a great deal of emphasis on the fact that the opener will have only 3 diamonds 3 to 4% of the time. And when he opens a club, he'll have only 3 clubs about 15% of the time. This makes the club situation a bit more ambiguous. But the ACBL says that this is not a short club. Do not confuse using a convenient minor with a short club system. A short club denotes 2 or fewer cards. The ACBL classifies a 3-card club holding, opening 1 club, as a rule, as being natural, completely normal, and therefore not alertable. On the other hand, if you would open 1 club ever with only 2 cards in the suit, then every single time you open, or your partner opens 1 club, you must say, could be as short as 2. You never know. This gives you a problem when you start thinking about conventions like inverted minors. If I bid 2 clubs over my partner's 1 club, saying I don't have a 4-card major, I have 5-card club support, and I'm interested in talking about a no trump game partner, are 5 of them enough? We may be lacking a stopper in one of the suits and end up needing to play clubs. In this instance, where my partner may have opened with only 2 of them, are my 5 clubs enough? We may find ourselves playing a 5-2 fit. That's not that unusual. If you play the 2-over-1 game force, you can often play a lot of 5-2 fits in a major suit. That's not the fate worse than death. But when you have opened a minor, you're going to end up at the 3 level playing a 5-2 fit, not the 2 level. These are things that are worth considering. If you use an inverted minor raise, and your partner has opened 1 club, you don't know whether he has only 2 clubs, 3 clubs. The odds favor that he has more, but you have no way of knowing, because you have that agreement that you're always going to guarantee 4 diamonds when you open a diamond. In order to do that, if you're 4-4-3-2, you must open a club. And that makes the bidding harder, to my mind anyway. Some of it will depend on your risk tolerance. I prefer not to bid 2-card suits if I can avoid it. So if bidding a 2-card club suit is so unnecessary, what does it gain if you do that? Precious little. It takes you from a 97% guarantee that you have 4 diamonds to a 100%. To my mind, 3% is just not enough to justify that. Because when you hold 4-4-3-2, you open a club instead of a diamond. But opening 1 diamond with only 3 cards still happens only 3 or 4% of the time. So this is a minimal benefit that causes you problems when 1 club is opened. The 1 club opening becomes so ambiguous that I think you give up more than you gain. Now, does it ever make sense to use a short club, or even a short diamond if you happen to play that way? Ever make sense? Well, the short answer is yes, but you have to look at it in the context of the whole bidding system. If you and your partner, say, were to decide that you wanted to learn to play precision or the Polish club system, then you have to become very familiar with very short minor suit openings, because they're artificial. But if you play standard American or even the yellow card or just plain old standard American or the 2/1 game force, most experts will tell you that choosing to play a short club is not a good choice and is systemically inferior. I, for one, am not an expert. I've never held myself out to be one. But I have read extensively on this subject, and I can tell you that most of the world's better players will tell you that opening a 2-card club suit is not the way to go. So I have finished pretty early this morning. Didn't have a whole lot to say on this subject, I guess you would say. So I'm happy to entertain questions, or we'll discuss this particular topic some more if you would like to. So, and if not, we'll adjourn early and go drink extra coffee. How about that? Anyway, the floor is yours.
There's a few people that have comments. Beth says, what about opening 4th seat by casino count? Didn't you say by opening one club would open the way for opponents to find a major fit?
Yeah, well, that's exactly right, except if you can make the casino count, remember that it is your high card points plus the number of spades that you hold in your hand. You may have 12 points and 3 spades. You've got the rule of 15 right there. That says, go ahead and open in the 4th chair. It may be that you have to open a club. You know, you don't have a 5-card major suit, don't have 4 or more diamonds, then you may have to open a club. This doesn't change the way you open. The casino count is used to make the decision when there have been 3 passes to you, whether you're going to open at all. If I had 12 high card points and only 2 spades, I'd say pass and throw it in. I don't want to open the bidding only to go minus. When you're opening the bid in 4th chair, you want to go positive. There's absolutely no point to opening the bidding if you don't have a good chance of going positive, because you can throw it in and get an average or maybe even a better than average. So don't confuse decisions about whether to open with what to open. Casino count helps you when you're sitting in 4th chair. And it would appear that everybody around the table has 10-ish points or so. Maybe they miscounted. It's been known to happen, and hands have been thrown in where somebody should have opened and didn't. You know, we're human beings. We don't always count correctly. So I would, in that instance, you might still open one club in 4th seat if you met the rule of 15. Does that make sense? That was a comment.
It does. It just, I was just wondering, does it not work to my advantage to get there with the 15 points and open a club if I don't have, you know, if we're not going to end up in a major? You know, I would rather be able to open a spade or a heart.
Well, of course you would, but you got to play the hand you dealt, Beth. The thing is that your partner may have the heart suit. Maybe you have 4 hearts, 3 spades.
Yeah.
You know, 3 clubs, 3 diamonds, you're going to open a club.
Okay.
And if your partner bids a heart, you've got 4 hearts, you can raise to 2 hearts. That gives you a running chance at taking the bid and making it. I will tell you that the last time I ignored the rule of 15 and decided, hey, I have a nice opening hand. I don't make the rule of 15, but I think this might be all right. I opened the bidding. My partner bid 1 no trump, showing a minor, showing a minimum responding hand. And doggone it, if my right-hand opponent didn't double and they found a fit and made the bid, and I got a 0 on the board because everybody else who didn't make the rule of 15 was smart enough to pass. I decided I knew better. Well, take a page out from my book and do better than I did. Okay. I have not done that since. Once was all it took. I don't like getting zeros, you know, it doesn't make for a good game. But anyway, just because you open in a minor in the fourth seat or any place else doesn't mean necessarily that you're not going to end up in a major suit.
Okay.
If your partner has, say, 5 cards in a major suit and has 10 or 11 points in his hand, he has enough to use new minor forcing.
Right.
And so you may find a 5-3 fit in a major suit.
Okay.
Okay.
All All right. Thank you.
You bet. Let's hear another comment, Miss Kim.
Well, it says, while I'll agree that the 3% increase to guarantee 4 diamonds is being paltry, can you instead, with a short club, ensure either 5 diamonds or 4-4-4-1 shape? Also, as about 5 years ago, ACBL has begun to allow transfers to minors or majors.
Yes, there are some bidding systems that utilize transfers to majors, but they are outside the realm of what most club players use. You see it mostly at tournaments, I believe. If I have a 4-4-4-1 hand, those hands are notoriously difficult to bid. Some people use, I believe it's called mini Roman or mini Roman, a 2 diamond opening says I have 4-4-4-1 distribution. And then the responder's next bid asks if he's interested, says, please show me your short suit. And some people have had some success with that. Others say, we tried that and it doesn't come up often enough to make it worthwhile to use. There are a whole lot of uses for 2 diamonds. One of them is the weak 2, of course, but then there's flannery, which shows exactly 11 to 15 points and 5 hearts and 4 spades. In other words, it's a hand that would like to reverse in the majors, but lacks the point count to do it. So when you open 2 diamonds and you and your partner are playing flannery, then your partner knows immediately whether you have a 5-3 heart fit or a 4-4 spade fit. There's something to be said for that, but I can't tell you the number of times I've been sitting at a table where one of my opponents opened 2 diamonds and the other opponent forgot they were playing flannery and thought it was a weak 2 in diamonds and passed because they played with multiple partners and they couldn't remember which agreement they had with that partner and just passed 2 diamonds. That's a disaster, folks. So you don't want to complicate your bidding system so much by using some of these artificial bids to show 4-4-4-1 or the 5-4 in the major suits unnecessarily. As always, this is a matter of partnership agreement, and yes, the ACBL does allow transfers to majors, but I don't know that I have ever seen one outside a tournament. So if there's somebody, Don, do you have any experience with, is Don on this morning? I haven't seen his picture.
I don't believe he is.
Okay, yeah, he is directing at tournaments these days rather than playing. So I don't know how many times he's had to make a call involving a transfer to a major suit over a minor suit opening. That's, you know, that is a matter for partners to discuss, certainly. I don't play it, never have, but if you and your partner want to and you understand it thoroughly, and you alert it appropriately, then shouldn't be a problem at all. Shouldn't be a problem at all. It just needs to conform to your system.
There's one more question. Isn't there a rule that one needs 10 points to bid the other minor for minor opening? I don't know. Then somebody said playing Walsh, you need 4 cards to show major. So I don't know what those,
Yeah,
if those
yeah. Well,
comments are related or not.
Yeah, Walsh is a bidding system. And I could never remember whether he's the one who advocates showing the diamonds or he's the one who doesn't. If you use that particular system, then you will show diamonds first. I just have been cut out of the auction by a preempt often enough to know that if I have a major suit, and I admit I am strongly oriented to major suit bidding because that's what Standard American and 2/1 both happen to focus on. But if you subscribe to the Walsh theory or the other, I've forgotten who the other one is. It's been a long time since I've looked at it. I have not ever heard the rule that you need 10 points to respond 1 diamond. If I have 6 points and I have a really nice 5-card diamond suit, say I have ace, queen, jack, 5th and diamonds and nothing else, I'm not going to pass. I'm going to bid a diamond over my partner's 1 club opening. I just don't pass as responder when I have at least 6 points. My partner could be sitting over there holding the World's Fair and only needs me to bid once for him to really be able to show what he has. So when I have enough to bid, I don't require 10 points to bid a diamond. If I have 10 points in a balanced hand, I'm going to bid 1 no trump. But that's just the way my brain thinks. If you and your partner want to look at some of these options and find that it makes sense for you, then by all means try it out. Over the years, various of my partners and I have tried different things and had them on our cards for a long time and find that either they don't work as well as they're supposed to, either because we can't get it right or we're not remembering it the way we ought to. So I tend to just bid what makes sense to me. If my hand looks no trumpy, then I'll respond 1 no trump. But if I have a 5-card diamond suit headed by ace, queen, jack, and nothing else in my hand, I'm going to bid the suit where I live. I'm going to bid a diamond. And then if my partner wants to bid something else, say if he bids a major and I have 3 cards in it, I may pass.
We
Because,
have a raised hand.
pardon me?
We have a raised hand.
Oh, all right. Go right ahead.
Hi, my name is Lixia. I put in that the question that isn't there a rule to bid the other minor if you have 10 points? And I think I remember the rule wrong. Actually, now I understand after your explanation why the rule is there. So if the opening is 1 diamond and you have 5 club, and you need to have 10 points to bid the 2 club.
Yes, that's exactly right. If you don't play 2/1, then if you want to bid clubs over diamonds or clubs over hearts or spades, as far as that goes, you need to have 10 high card points to respond at the 2 level.
Yeah.
That's exactly right. But 1 diamond over 1 club is a 1/1 and can be done with as few as 6. I have seen people do it with fewer even, but that's only for you who have ice water in your veins. John Parrish, who was a local, I won't call him a pro, but he was a very fine player. Emerald Life Master used to say, Susan, bad things happen when you bid with no values. And so, yes, sir. That's in other words, no raising or no responding when you have only 4 points in your hand. There are some people who say if you have an ace in your hand and that's all, particularly if you have a doubleton somewhere, you should probably respond. That is a matter of partnership style because that's pretty aggressive. Sometimes it works out and sometimes it doesn't. Both occasions can be quite notable for different reasons. But if you have an ace, certainly if your partner has that 19 to 21 point unbalanced hand, that ace may be all he needs to make a game. The more likely scenario is, though, that he has a minimum opening hand and you have just dug yourself a hole that you can no longer crawl out of, because if you bid a suit, your bid is forcing. Remember that. New suit by responder who has not previously passed is a 1-round force. So bid with fewer than 6 points at your own risk. But if you have 6 points, do your partner a favor and bid. Okay. Anybody else have a question, comment, anything? Doesn't have to be on this subject. I don't promise to be fully versed like I wasn't on the transfer to major suits, but I'll do my best. Anybody have any suggestions for future topics? That might be a good
Hand
thing.
up.
Ah, Beth has her hand up. All right. Beth can always be counted on. All right.
Well, my partner and I got put on the big girl side to play one day, and I opened that in the 4th seat with casino count, one club, and my next opponent overcalled a major. And then when she laid her cards down, when the dummy came down, she had a 4-card major. And I looked at my partner, I said, "Did you notice she's got a 4-card major?" And she said, and then she just kind of rolled her eyes and said, "Yeah."
Did she overcall the 4-card major?
Yes.
Well, some partnerships have that agreement. You should check the convention card. If now that you know that about that pair, then there are people who do that. I tend to, particularly if you play with a lot of different partners, 4-card overcalled suits are marked on the convention card on the back page. If you often have 4 cards for overcalling, then you have a box you have to check. It's not necessarily alertable. I don't remember that it's red, but it is indicated on the convention card, and all you have to do is look at the partner of the person who bid and say, "May I see your convention card, please?" And look at it and check it and hand it back and say, "Thank you," and go on down the road. It is permissible to overcall a 4-card major suit if you have that agreement with your partner. I, as advancer, would never know whether my partner had 4 or 5. So
Right.
do I raise with 3 and we have a nice fit and we make the bid and everything's great? Or do I raise with 3 and we get a bad trump split and we go down like the Titanic because I should have mentioned? Then I hate nebulous situations like that. There are other people who are willing to deal with less concrete situations than I am. I tend to prefer to be able to let my partner know that I either have a 5-card suit when I overcall, or I have 3 of the top 4 honors, and I definitely have the top 2 when I do it. In other words, I have ace, king, queen, 10. I have ace, king, queen, jack. I have ace, king, jack, 10.
Okay.
I'm doing it as much for the lead as I am a desire to
Yes, that makes sense.
So yes, it is okay to overcall a 4-card suit, but it should be a mighty fine 4-card suit. Okay.
Right. Thank you.
Susan,
Yes, ma'am.
in that same scenario, if somebody does overcall a 4-card suit and you look at the partner's card and it's not checked and they've stolen the bid from you basically because you misunderstood it.
Yeah, right.
Should you call the director? Or is that just
I would say unless you were damaged, you're not going to get any relief from the director. And by that I mean, okay, they have no partnership understanding. It's not marked on the card. So that means that one of the partners decided they had my kind of suit, and I would like to lead direct at least. And if my partner has only 3 cards in the suit, he's not gonna raise me with 2. I'm not worried about that at all. But if he has only 3 cards in the suit, I at least have a good 3 leads in the trump suit here. That's the thing I'm after. That's why I would never overcall a king empty 4-card suit. You got to have some chance at being able to control the trump suit. And the fewer cards you have, the more important it is to have the high cards in the suit. You can call the director if you want to, Patty. That is never wrong. But unless you were damaged by the fact that he overcalled a 4-card suit, particularly when it's not on the card and it was not a partnership agreement, and I don't believe that's alertable anyway. If it's marked on the card, well, yeah, okay, it might be, but if it's not marked on the card, that means they have no agreement on this situation. And without an agreement, then the partner of the person who does it has no way of knowing that he might ought to be saying something, or especially if he raised with 3 cards in the suit, it's obvious he doesn't know. Sometimes that just happens. And if you weren't damaged, then you're not going to get any relief. Sorry.
Well, you kind of would have been damaged if it prevented your partner from bidding. You
Well,
might have gotten a partial gain.
well,
And-
you might get a partial score, but if, let's say you open a diamond and you get an overcall of a 4-card heart suit on your left, your partner can use the negative double. He can bid 1 no trump. I mean, it all depends on the bidding situation, but in general, particularly if your partner has a 4 or 5 card spade suit, he's still able to show it.
Yeah, that's true.
So the likelihood that you're going to be damaged by a 4-card suit overcall, maybe, who knows? I mean, maybe the advancer has 4 cards in the suit. He thinks you're going to have a 9-card fit when you only have 8. But that's comes under the heading of part of the breaks of the game. You know, the ACBL has done the best they can to level the playing field and to say what should happen when there's been an irregularity, what the best way to level the playing field again is. That's what the whole object of that book of laws is. And so the director knows what he's supposed to do in the event that the opponents are damaged because there was an irregularity. There has to be some damage before any adjustment can be made. And sometimes you think it's not fair, and maybe it's not fair, really, but once you start playing in ACBL games, then the directors are going to follow the laws as they interpret them. Directors don't get them all the calls 100% correct either, but the good directors that I know will go back, if they have any doubt at all, will go back and look up in the law book what is supposed to happen in that case. If there's been a bidding snafu of some sort, and the opponents claim that they were damaged because this person made an unreasonable bid, an illogical bid, one that should not have been made, then the director will call or go ask various people who have the same basic level of skill at the game and say, here's your hand, here's the auction. You know, here it comes around the 2nd or 3rd time and it's your turn to call. Maybe your partner's bid, maybe he hasn't. What do you do? He'll then go with what the majority of the people have told him, and then he'll go back and say, okay, in this instance, I'm adjusting the score to 4 spades down 2, or I'm letting the score stand, depending on what he found would happen with other players of the same ability level. If he goes back and looks at his book and says, oh dear, I didn't get that right, he'll go back to the table or to the pairs involved if they've moved on and say, I made an error in my ruling. I'm going to change that to thus and so. Some directors stomp their foots and say, I'm the director and my call stands. The good directors don't do that. You know, as long as you're polite and say, can you explain your ruling to me, please? What went into that? You should never have a problem with getting a director to explain it to you. Anyway, I know that happens, Patty, and you hate it when it does, but often you just get fixed sometimes in this game, and the only thing you can do is shrug your shoulders and go on down the road. Hi, this is Susan. Thanks for watching this video today. Most of these videos come from our free bridge lessons that we present on Zoom every Saturday morning at 9 a.m. Central Time. If you'd like to join us for those lessons, you can email us at the address shown below and we'll send you the link. If you can't attend the lessons, then feel free to subscribe to our channel and you'll be notified when there is a new one added. Again, thanks for stopping by and we hope to see you soon.